Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to have a discussion on the mining sector in our country, and the CEO of the Minerals Commission, Mr. Martin Ayisi, is here with me on the show. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning, Brandon.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I can tell you're fine.
Oh. Why, Galamsey?
Oh no, I can tell you're fine. You're as calm as the weather this morning. Anyway, so last week, let's start off this way. We're supposed to try and finish up on our discussion on the opportunities for indigenes in the sector. But just before you left, at the tail end of our discussion last week, you told us about the story of some, were they Yemenis?
Some chiefs.
Yeah, some Yemenis who were found in the Odan area, and a chief or a sub-chief owning napas, their owner and all that, and the police, and you said that you were going to follow up on that case and make sure that the right thing is done. What's the latest on that issue?
Ronnie, thank you, and good morning to your viewers. So we've been following up. Let me say that one of the finest policemen I've met in my life is a policeman handling the case.
Really?
Yes, he happens to be a pastor too.
Oh.
Yes, so he has assured us that he will do everything possible to make sure that the case go through the full
Is that Odan police?
Yes, he's based in Odan.
Okay.
And
what's his name?
I think Reverend Nyamiche.
Okay.
I've forgotten the other, but I can check for you. So apparently courts have been set up to handle Galamsey issues.
Yes.
It shows how serious maybe the judiciary is also cooperating. So they were arraigned before the court in Koforidua, granted bail, and then requested that they should report to the police regularly. I think the Yemenis have been asked to deposit their passport. There's another chief who is actually the kingpin. He's been trying to evade. You know, one was arrested with the 3 Yemenis, but then the Abonti Domini is one of the main guy who is behind all these things. And he's trying to avoid, what do you call it, he must report. So we just hope they will issue a bench warrant to get him. Yes. So it's a matter of time. We are watching, we'll see what it goes. The press is also interested and they are following. And if you remember, I don't know whether I said it here or some other platform, I gave 5 drivers or causes of illegal mining, a topic we shall discuss maybe extensively sometime in June.
Right.
One of them, among several others, is the fact that the sanctions are so punitive, but then if we want illegal money to go away, then they should be biting. So you can imagine if, I don't want to sound prejudicial, but you can imagine if they go to the full trial and then they are convicted, and then these Yemenis are jailed, and then the chiefs behind are put in bars. Then it becomes a signal, a warning to every other chief and other persons that are involved that, look, now the long arm of the law is reaching us. So that is it. We shall follow and see what happens. There's a very big generator on site. I think I sent you the pictures.
Yes, I'm sure that we would be able to show that shortly.
Yes, and then also the plant they are using is about $1.3 million. Yes, and customized. It's a very good one, and I'm yet to see that in a country. It's environmentally friendly. Clearly, Randy, $1.3 million. The chief has not got that money. He has not got that money. The ordinary Odan guys who were living in Odan Asumdwe, where the money was going on, they've not also got that money. So this must come from the Yemenis. And then, of course, you give me land. It's like this, Ebunu Ebusa. Give me land, I do the farming, we split. If you have the land already, you develop the farm, I come and tender it and do it, and then I take a third or so. So that is it. Once the case is over, it means that the generator will look so big, and then those machines will be confiscated to the state. Once it's confiscated, we will now even give it to a lawful community mining site. And then the generator could be given to the town or any area in the district where they don't have power. So this and several others now. So now when we hear of the arrest, we alert the press so that they also follow. You understand? So that we get to know what is happening. So that is that. I hope it goes well. The evidence is quite strong as far as we are concerned. The fact is that where they have cleared and they put those structures there, they didn't have any authorization, permit, or license, so to speak, to do that. So right from the word go,
but
it's illegal.
Is it an area demarcated for mining? So well, you can see. Okay, you can
see
now.
So that's a site. So you can see they've cleared the site.
Okay.
In preparation for mining.
Okay.
That is a generator.
Okay.
So how can an ordinary Ghanaian in all these 12 to 13 villages we've been talking about buy this?
Okay.
Okay. Even the generator at my village, Wara Hospital, the mortuary, is not even big like this.
Okay.
So you can see the kind of investment that has gone into it. Too much money. And then later we'll see the plant. So that is it. So this, by law, if the court is satisfied that they were involved in illegal mining, which we believe, will be confiscated to the state. We advise maybe in the district where it is taking place, it is given to one hospital or a town that has not got power. Okay? This is Odan Sumjwe. You see the heart there.
Yes.
And I hear people even in the town there have been coming to watch. The excavators have been moved already to the Odan police station. 2 of them. This one we are arranging to move them. So we will ask the police and co to provide us some security for us to move it. That is it. Okay. So you see how the thing is becoming sophisticated. Yes.
So we'll get to see the machine, the equipment that you're talking about shortly. But speaking about chiefs and their involvement and all that, just going through the papers today. Yesterday, the 2023 edition of the Green Ghana Day was launched in Kumasi. And going through the stories that I see something related to chiefs. And Otumfo, the Asantini, he launched it. And there's a part where he says that he bemoaned the wanton destruction of forest due to illegal mining and illegal logging. And if you look at the site that we just watched, obviously the green has been completely wiped off to make room for that. Now, guess what he said? He was categorical that chiefs and members of the local communities cannot feign ignorance about those involved in this destruction. He promised to drive around the Ashanti region and summon all chiefs whose lands have been degraded to come and answer. Quote, government cannot do it alone. We must all get involved and support government to come to grips with this matter. He says, chiefs and members of the local communities cannot feign ignorance about those involved in this destruction. And all chiefs whose lands have been degraded will be invited to come and answer before him.
Randy, I like the way you've been harping on the word feign interest. Randy, if you have been listening to my minister, that is exactly what he's been saying. My minister says his father is a chief. Guipira. And for that matter, is a son of a chief. He has this ordinary statement that he's been making. He says that.
Okay, so Chief, before you go on, what are we watching on our screen? There's a video you sent to me.
Yes, that is a machine.
The machine you were talking about?
Yes, that's the machine I'm talking about.
This one?
Yes, that's about $1.3 million.
And it's used...
it is mainly...
for mining.
You see, this is environmentally very friendly. So you can see, if you like, they dug the stuff, put it in it, and then process it.
Okay.
Yes. And then it processes everything, very environmentally friendly and all those stuff.
So this equipment was imported into Ghana?
Of course.
And came through probably the ports?
No, it's assembled.
Or they brought it as parts?
It doesn't come in this form.
Okay. They brought it as parts and assembled it?
Yes. But you can see that wherever they want to use it, you can see very responsible, the place is contained and all those things. But The fact is that in
this. So they're actually in the middle. If you see the aerial shot, they're in like a middle of a forest.
I'm sure this is maybe a properly regulated site.
Okay.
Yes, okay. But the Odan one in particular, this is just to show you the kind of machine it is. In the case of
it is this same machine that was being used at Odan?
Yes, okay. This is the same machine that is being used at Odan.
Okay. But those we see in this video are not the Odan people?
No.
Okay.
The problem is not about... I just want to show you how it's a very good machine.
Okay.
Maybe in future we need to bring...
So please, for those watching, the people you see are not involved in illegal mining. Mm-hmm. What the CEO is saying is that it is this equipment that was being used at Odan for the illegal mining. But those you see in this video are not engaged in illegal mining.
No.
Yes, okay.
No, that's okay. Mm-hmm. In fact, we'll need more of these machines to be able to ensure responsible mining. Because you see, it is mounted, you can see it, very organized, it's processed. So this
is how much? $1.3 million?
This is about $1.3 million. Okay. You understand that? Yeah. So this is the one we need to use for especially those alluvial areas.
Then you should be happy with the Yemenis.
But then if we just get up every morning and anybody just brings anything, because I keep saying we're a nation of laws. You understand that? Yeah. So like the minister keeps saying, his father is a chief. He will struggle hard to understand that something will be happening in his community, either let's say some kind of logging or some kind of any other activity without the chief knowing. So the king is right. He says that it will be difficult for us to pretend that the chiefs and others don't know. So this is Odan Asumdwe, where the small-scale task force and the Minerals Commission officers went and then arrested, with the help of the security, arrested these people. You see, it has turned out that it's a chief who is behind. Yes, the so-called Abontim Donhini, and then the other one who has been arrested, and then the pictures are all over the front page. So I hear the police might issue arrest for him. He's in hiding. You understand? And that kind of character is all over the place. So you see, the Odan Asumdwe thing is a typical example of what Asantini is saying, that it cannot be true that a chief will feign interest or he doesn't know about it. In some instances, the chiefs were at the front, forefront, like this particular one. Some, they sit down. In fact, in many parts of this country, you need to even come and slaughter a cattle or a bull or something for you to get their blessings. He's in his palace. He takes his share. You go and work and you come. So if you come and report to him, it's difficult for him to organize a SAFO people to go and then flash them out. It's something they can easily do. So if, let's say, somebody shows up in Rara and is doing some illegal mining, okay, and I get to know, I'll either bring it to the attention of the police or I'll organize a SAFO use there to go and clear the people and impound the things and take them to the police station. The moment I'm hesitant to do that, that means that the assumption is that the people have been giving me money. You understand? So you, the chief or Nana, you've been told that somebody has brought some structures. So typically what they do is that the elders go to the chief, or if you like, they summon him in court and ask you, Nana, we've seen this thing going on. It's not a government project. What do you know about it? He might say, I don't know anything about it, or let's go and find out. Oh, you just brought it to my attention. Let's go and find out. And they will go and then they will act. Then it means that it is fresh. But this clearance has gone on for some days. People saw generator being moved. And then when they were arrested, they tried to get some other media houses to publish that it is a site we have sanctioned. How? Oh. Okay? It is actually within the concession of the old GCD concession.
Okay.
Yes, so there's no application. We have not sanctioned it. So they might have perhaps, I may be wrong, giving some money to some press people to also write that, oh, it's a community mining scheme we've sanctioned. We've not sanctioned it because I keep saying that before we call something community mining, it means that our officers have inspected the site, they've okayed it, that you can do environmentally friendly operations. Even government will give you a machine. The minister or the deputy minister will have to come and officially declare the site commissioned. So for us, if a community mining scheme which is anchored on a small-scale license has not been commissioned, we don't recognize it. Unless maybe you have some kind of special waiver or permit from the chief inspector of mines, or we are aware. So, for instance, you go to Bole, there's an area called Clough. There are about 3,000 of them on the ground. They are doing it underground. So there's no distraction on the surface. We went there. They are working. So we said, okay, stop. We checked everything. The place is okay. They are going to the permitting process. So currently, they have some kind of special arrangement. They are being supervised by the district inspector there for them to be working whilst we go to the process with them. Because you see, asking 3,000 people to go and stay home, after we are convinced that what they are doing is not damaging the environment, means that you should be careful about crime. You see? Yes, at the appropriate time, I'll discuss the correlation between mining and criminal activities in the district. So when you have over 3 million people involved in small-scale mining, and then you say they should ban it, it means that you're going to see an upsurge in crime. That is not to say we should endorse what we see on the water body or illegality, but another job is to help them formalize it. Like what is going to happen in Wise, Bongo, and other places. That's what we are doing, or that's what we should do. But if you don't have the facts, you might, get angry and say, oh, they should suspend this thing. What happens to 3 million people? Again, we're also saying there are several millions of people who are doing it responsibly. Okay, so go after those who are doing it irresponsibly, go after the kingpins. So I think it's high time we started going after the kingpins. So you see these two chiefs, once they are tackled, that's it. It's uprooted.
Right. So a viewer is asking a question about the machine. It says, does this machine also dispense chemical residue and pollute our water bodies? That's the question he's asking.
Does this machine
also dispense chemical residue and also pollute our water bodies, based on what he saw?
No. You see, how do the water bodies get polluted? Let me explain that before we come to our main topic for today. Like in the large-scale mining areas, or a typical mining concession, big time, you see, they crash, load and haul to the processing plant, mix it with all kinds of chemicals. And then eventually the good is produced, and everything that comes out is the tailings, or if you like, for want of a better word for the ordinary viewer to understand, waste, full of dangerous chemicals. Now, by law, the large-scale people construct what we call a TSF, Tailings Storage Facility, to hold all these things until they are decommissioned. Okay, so it's stored, it's like your house. Okay, the water from your toilet is stored in that compartment, and then at the end of the month, or
your
2-3 months, it's taken out. This is a biodigester. Yes. It's practically, that's how it is done, and it's decommissioned. Now, the illegal miners, what they do is that they either work in the water body proper, or divert the water body and then take the bed and process with mercury. That's illegal mining, because you see, a proper responsible mining, Minerals Commission will not endorse that. So we have decided that as a way of ensuring they do the work properly, we give them this so-called gold catcher, which doesn't use any chemical, just water. So you just feed in your rocks, or if you like the ore, and then you add water, it processes it, that's all. And that's fine. So that's what we are promoting. Do you understand? Now, for an operation like that, I need to check if it's just ordinary water or they use some other chemicals. Then you will see, if you see the earlier video, you saw something like a tailings dam.
Yes.
So it has to be constructed properly, lined to avoid percolation. So if you have any waste from there, it is hold up there. But even before you start the construction of that dam or TSF, you need the permission of EPM, Minerals Commission, where you locate it, how far you could go, because look at the rains that are happening, especially in Western region. If we don't guide you, you might put it in such a way that if there is flooding, it means that you kill everybody downstream, like what happened in Brazil, Brumadinho, or Mount Poli in Canada. These are developed countries. The dam could fail or collapse. Do you get it? So that is it. So where chemicals are involved, and they use all kinds of chemicals, and that's somebody's even job in the support services, to supply chemicals and these reagents to the mining companies to use to mix all kinds of things. Yeah, so there's a way we do that.
So the point is that, yes, this is a very good machine, but the use of the machine must still conform.
Yes, if they are using chemicals, they cannot discharge it into any water body. It has to be contained in an area typically referred to as a tailings storage facility. which has to be constructed first, right from day one, even the identification of the area, the kind of material you use and do. And these are very expensive. I told you the other time, the one in Cardinal is over $30-something million.
The tailings dam?
Yeah, just the dam. And then the one in the Duaprim, phase 1 and 2 is $72 million. Do you see that? Yeah. And this is what we want foreigners to come and do. So effective this year, we stop it because we have capacity now.
So things still keep coming up instead of what we're intended discussing. This whole illegal mining thing and what you're explaining, there's something that has come up strongly in all the discussions about we are licensed, we are not licensed, they are licensed, but they are not supposed to do what they are doing. The issue of prospecting, I know that you've explained this before, but it looks like we have an issue with prospecting licenses that are used for purposes other than what prospecting is defined as by the law of which you enforce. That perhaps whether there is a certain ignorance, misunderstanding, or deliberate action by people who hold prospecting licenses, but then get themselves engaged in things that the law says are not prospecting, but actual mining.
Randy, let me explain this. Yes, it is true. This is what we've seen, the Inspector Division. You see, you have 2 authorizations as far as any mining activity of operation is concerned. Either you are giving an authorization, some kind of approval to explore for the mineral. Exploration, that's prospecting. You're going to prospect. If you want to say...
So the two mean the same?
Yeah. Prospecting is nothing but exploration. Okay. In Ghana, you say, in your tao.
So they can be used interchangeably?
Yes. Okay. Or if you like, mikoyen shushem. Okay. So there are so many ways by which you do it. You can dig trenches, you can pit, okay? And sometimes they use excavators to dig trenches. We know, when it's prospecting, we know, any geologist worth his salt knows that, okay, you dig some trench, sequentially and all those things, you pick samples, you take it to the lab, and then you're supposed to backfill. Okay, so when you are giving the lines...
Backfill means you fill up.
Yeah, you fill it.
Yes,
you
whatever you done.
Yeah, yes, that's it. And then if you do that over the years, then when you get to a stage now where you do drilling now, after trenching and pitting, next time we show pictures, what trenching means and what pitting is. You pit and you trench. You do that and then they get to an advanced stage like drilling, because you really have to drill. If you see a drill rig, we'll show that. So next week I'll show how pitting is done, trenching is done, and then the drilling. So you bring these drill rigs and then you drill, okay? To get the data, you take all those things to the lab. So they are all forms of what? Prospecting or various exploration tools you deploy just to do that. So you keep looking at results, testing all those things. So over the years, if you are satisfied that what I have there is enough, and it has some kind of resource which you think reasonably you can extract, you submit a feasibility. Basically what you found, how you want to mine it, whether it's underground, surface, whatever. You do all those things to us. And then we'll go through. Once you are satisfied, we'll make a recommendation for it to be granted an extraction right, which is a mining lease, properly so called. You go to environmental processing, public hearing, and all those things through EPA. Then you come back to the Chief Inspector of Mines for an operating permit. Okay? Along this process, the committee is consulted, the DC, the assembly, the chiefs, everybody knows. That is it. So you can see that's a drill rig.
But is it the case?
So
yes.
So what we have seen, and
yes.
I cannot sit here and deny it.
Yes.
It would be stupid on my part because the facts are there. There have been instances where persons who have been given prospecting license have done their pitting, they've done their trenching, they've done drilling. So that's a drill rig. And then they realize that, Charlie, the gold is there. instead of him to be patient and then do more work, then under the cover of darkness, he will start mining. Okay, you will see his exploration, but then he will deploy other machines or whatever to just take stuff out and mine. Okay, yes, and then he will sell it illegally because he's not supposed to mine. Normally, when we see it, we either withdraw the license or fine you. It depends on the degree of what he's doing. Yeah, so now that is it. So yes, if some of the text messages are that people under the guise of looking for the mineral end up mining, whether that has not been happening, yes, it has happened in some instances. And then, of course, as a regulator, we are supposed to take action. So that is being fixed now. That is it.
All right. Okay. Now let's get to what we're going to discuss, and it's a discussion that we've had many times, and it has to do with the opportunities for Ghanaians in this multi-billion-dollar industry. You sent me a document where you've classified all these services, and I think we've gone through some again. So what I want us to do is basically like a recap.
Okay.
Yes, of these opportunities, and especially how people can get involved.
Okay.
Because there's this mindset that this is an extremely capital intensive industry. It is not an industry for just anybody. You need to have some serious financial backing to be able to get in there. But your submissions over the months suggest that there are different classes, which then means that there's something for almost everybody.
Yes. Okay, Landy, let me start this way. In fact, it's a topic we could even spend months on. For the opportunities for Ghanaians, I don't know whether I said it here or some other media house. We can put it in 3 categories. Jobs. Okay, jobs by way of direct employment in the mine. So the kind of skill sets and training you require, that's one. Then there are some people, he wants to be involved in mining. Okay? He wants to, a Ghanaian says, I want a license. I want some authorization to go and do the exploration myself. And a lot of Ghanaians are doing it. Well, if you care to know, over 80% of the prospecting licenses are in the hands of Ghanaians. Yes. Yes.
80%?
Even more. Most of them are in the hands of Ghanaians. So somebody will say, I want to explore, and then later on go into mining like Newmont and Goldfields and Co. So that is the second category. Then the third category where actually the mining is the support services. So let me start with the skill set. Randy, the kind of skill set the mining industry requires is not the way, it's not the kind of thing that we, in the first place, humanities and the social sciences, no way for you. Forget it. If you are in the social science and humanities, it will be very difficult to get a job at the mine. So what kind of skill set do you require? I'll break them into 2 categories. More often than not, the people they require are those that have gone through these technical programs. So there are 3 there. Those who have done these technical courses in electrical, those who have done the mechanical stuff, and then metal and fabrication. Randy, I am not talking about university here.
Yes.
I'm talking about ATTC.
Yes.
Coco Meme. You see those courses they do.
Yes.
Those who study melter, fabrication and welding.
Like
and then those who
like
do
the City and Guilds.
Yes, City and Guilds.
Yes.
Those who do electrical. And then because you see, every mining company has a mechanical workshop, or they have these workshops. So those are the kind of people they need. Now, in our part of the world where we come from, when you go into those areas, they think you're a failure. You didn't do well in GSS or SSS. And that is where the South Africans, the Zimbabweans beat us. So by age 15 or so, they call it apprenticeship. So let's say Sandvik, or let's say Wayo Engineering, they take you. You'll be with him like 3-4 years. He takes you to the mine. After that, you are giving certification, and then you get a job. We need a lot of them. So now Cardinal and Ahafo North, all those work that they are going on there, those are the people they take now, a lot of them. And we are struggling to get them. So that is an area that we should be interested in. Metal fabrication and welding, electrical and then mechanical. So they can go to ATTC. And then the famous one I keep mentioning, Takoradi Technical Institute. A lot of them are there all over. We used to laugh at them when we were going to secondary school, that, Obo Modeosha. But now we realize that those are the ones that get the job. And then, Randy, the interesting thing is that guy who went to Takoradi Technical Institute or ATTC, when he gets a job at the mine, he can build on it and later on do HND, mechanical engineering, or go ahead and do a top-up and do the degree. I have about 5 success stories at Minerals Commission. A guy who did those basic things in electrical. Now he's doing the degree at Takoradi Technical University. There was one guy after SSS, he was just roaming around Prestia. He got a job at the FGA, Golden Star Mechanical Workshop. Started, was doing all those things. And then later on went and did the HND. Now he's doing the degree, he's finished. So you have a lot of them who have never been to secondary school. Okay? And never read science. But today they hold degrees in mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. And those 5 guys I'm talking about, or those guys who went to ATTC, Takoradi Technical Institute and all those things, who now has a degree in mechanical engineering or mining engineering. If he goes to look for a job in any mining company with a guy who came straight from university, first degree, even 4 or 5 years. So you went straight after precept to UST. You read mining engineering. 4 or 5 years experience at the mine. Then I went through this, if you like, for want of a better word, hard route. Anytime the two of you go and look for a job, unless maybe you have a bad character or referee say, you have a poor attitude, most likely 9 over 10, the mine managers who do the hiring will hire that person and leave you. Do you understand? So these are areas we've not treated well as a nation. So this TVET, CODVET, whatever, we should take it seriously. In the mining area, there are a lot of jobs there. We're not done with mining. It's going to be with us centuries. Sam Jonah used to have some wonderful mechanical workshop in Ashanti, the then Ashanti. So a lot of people were trained there. I think there's a gentleman who now, a Ghanaian, who is now taking it over and trying to turn it into kind of a trade school so that we can get people from GSS or whatever to go there. Together we and then Ministry of Education or whoever is a regulator, COVET, TVET, whatever, will certify. So even if you do 2-3 years, we can give you a certificate. You can take it to any of the mines, they'll take you. So that is one area. The second set or layer in terms of the skill is those who go through the poly or the technical university and the university proper. And here, Randy, is engineering. Anything engineering, the mines take it. Typically, the ones that they like is mining engineering or mineral engineering. So that is number one. They take those who also do metallurgical engineering because you need them at the processing plant, okay? Or you can work at the lab. So you can have a lab metallurgist or work at the processing plant. So metallurgical engineering is also taken. So we have inspectors metallurgy. Okay, yes. So you can do that at UMAT or KNUST. Then they also take chemical engineering. Chemical engineering too, they can also work at the processing plant or at the lab because almost all the mining companies have labs. So chemical engineering, metallurgical engineering, mineral engineering, mining engineering. Then of course they take mechanical engineering, what I jokingly call advanced fitter. They take them a lot, mechanical engineering. They also take electrical because there are a lot of electrical installations at the mine. So we also have inspectors electrical. So when he goes to the mine, say, no, your wirings are not the best. Okay, this looks like kind of a mining environment. You see, the way you done your electrical stuff and all those things. So electrical, chemical, mechanical, metallurgical, mining, mineral. They take all of them. The good thing is that sometimes too, and then they also take civil engineering because of the geotechnical part. And any of this, you can go and do a master's in mining engineering. Okay. So if your son is listening to me and say, oh, Daddy, UMA didn't take me for mining engineering. They gave me mechanical. He should proceed. After that, you can go and do a master's in mining engineering, and they tend to be better. You know, when people have multiplicity of skills. So my best example, the gentleman who is the boss of Goldfields. Goldfields has 2 big mines, Takwa and Daman. So he's called Executive Vice President, the whole of Goldfields, West Africa Operations. Joshua Mototi. He read mechanical engineering at UST and worked in all the mines. And later on did a master's in mining engineering. His last job was General Manager, Newmont Achim. Now he's the MD for Takwa Goldfields, one of the biggest mining operations in the world, or for that matter in Ghana. So mining engineer, now mechanical. So that is it. So all the engineering stuff, they take them. Now, this is what the law is doing.
Let me just interrupt you a bit.
Yes.
For those who are watching us, what you're seeing on your screen actually are the opportunities in the mining sector. And you have the classifications, Class A, Class B, Class C, and what the requirements are. So what you're seeing currently is Class C, services, and you see the services, first column. You see the required documentations in the second column, and then on the right you will see the registration fee. So while the conversation is going on, you can also see the different classes of services that are available in the sector, the documentations that are required, and the fees, the applicable fees as well.
Yeah, Randy, before I go back to the discussion on the, because you mentioned this, I go back and wrap up on the scale issue. At the end of last year, we had 331 companies registered to provide all these kind of services you are mentioning. 331. These are people who have nothing to do with exploration or actual mining. 331. And 242 were renewals, and then 89 were new. Now, as at February this year, we had 268 registered to provide various support services. 235 renewal, 33 new. So, and this is just the first 2 months. So we might cross 400 to 500. These are support services. And normally for one direct job at the mine, you have several support services that are created. So I just want you to have that at the back of your mind. Now,
and you say that the last time I heard you say that people don't even need to go to your office. They can go online.
Yeah, they can go online. Yes. So the form is online.
Yes.
What you have to do is to get all your necessary documentation.
Which
is also listed
what is there in the middle column.
Yes, in the middle column. Yes. So, and these things are also online. So SNIT, tax clearance certificate, VAT registration. Those are basic. You got to incorporate a company, and then for those the local people, we don't require business plan and stuff. And then add all your documents, upload them, and you can also pay online. You could do this on Saturday, Sunday. Until last year, you have to come to head office physically. So you can imagine somebody leaving WA to come to Accra just to come and register to say, I want to supply fuel. So we've also improved the way the ease of doing business.
Right.
Now, the 2020 regulation, LI 2431, the local content law, it is now mandatory for all the mining companies to support skill development. So we have broken them into 3. 1, every mining company during the long vacation is supposed to take those who are into the geosciences and doing the various engineering programs at UMAT, at KNUSC and Poly. So if you are doing geomatics engineering, of course, then you end up as a mine surveyor, for instance. We take some too. Or if you are doing mining engineering, so first year, so Newmont can take about 20, Asanko maybe 10, Goldfields 20. It depends on the size of the mine. So they take them a lot. They all go there during the long vacation. And they take good care of them. It's on the mining company.
Okay.
Then, so it means that, Randy, by the time somebody holds a mine, by the time your son or your daughter will finish a 4-year degree program in any of the mining engineering programs, okay, cumulatively he has like 1 year experience. So he's employable. So I keep boasting, saying that if there's any area where graduates are being churned out and they are employable, because over the years, I used to remember Ismail Yamshin. He used to complain that many of our graduates cannot read and write properly, you speak to them, not in the mining sector.
Because
there's a deliberate program to do away with the Eastmanizing type of criticism, which is legitimate.
So there's a connect between
there's a connect between industry and academia.
Right.
Huge one. It's mandatory now.
Right.
Until 3 years ago. At first, they used to do it voluntarily. So that's the first layer. Then after that, you take them for national service. Okay? So they have to write to us and say, Newmont and Chim, I'll take 20. Ahafo, I'll take 5. Asanko, I'll take 7. We get that data from them. You do that. Then after national service, they also have the third one now, the graduate training program. So that is where we normally also get inspected. So the graduate training program is 2 years. So every 2-3 months long work over 4 years, cumulative, you have 1 year experience. Then you do national service, that's number 2. Then you go to the graduate training program, 4. So yesterday I met one of the executives of Newmont, and he says that 4 of them in the graduate training program have left for US. They had scholarships to go and do masters. And even 3 of them had gotten jobs outside Ghana, US and Western Australia. So you see, by the time a young girl or boy finishes UMaT age 22, I mean now this is you enter university 18 or 17. National service, graduate training program 2 years, that's what, 3 years. So he's employable. And Newmont like this, they are doing it a lot now because they are preparing for a half enough. In about 2.5 years or so, that man will be ready. So the ones that are doing the graduate training program now, okay, they are training them at a Chim or a mine. By the time a half enough is ready, they'll move all of them as jobs for them. Some of them will be going to Asanko, some of them will go to Cardinal, some of them will go to Azuma. Minerals Commission, we take them to, I took about 10 last year as inspectors, especially those who went to the graduate training program, national service plus the other one. So the skill set is what we are doing. So that is why a mining engineer in Ghana, 2-3 years, he gets a job easily in Western Australia because of what we are doing, and we are scaling it up. So it means that Cardinal, Azuma, and Co will be doing more. Now, Randy, let me say this. So it tells you that Cardinal, Azuma, and the lithium guys that are coming up, they already have people waiting for them to employ. So that is it. And then let me wrap it up on the skill set.
Yes.
Now, in Ghana today, by law, all non-technical skills, you cannot employ an expatriate. All non-technical skills, you cannot employ an expatriate. So you cannot have an expatriate as external affairs manager, community relations. They used to do that in the past. I mean, a white man being community relations manager, all those things, we've stopped them. So all, what do you call it, non-technical staff, no expatriate. Then the technical staff, from general manager, below, you must go to a Ghanaian. Now in a mine, the mine runs on a mine manager, and you should be certified. So I'm so proud. So let me give you one fine example. Idua Prim is one of the largest mines in Ghana and in the world. It's owned by Anglo Gold Ashanti. That's their second mine apart from Obuasi. Our checks last year, they had 650 workers. Now they have about 734, getting to 800. Everybody there is Ghanaian. So there's 730 something staff there. The entire workforce is Ghanaian. The MD, Ghanaian, they brought him from Australia. He started like 2-3 years here in Ashanti and then went out. He roamed all over Africa, went to Western Australia, and they brought him. It's called Mr. Pobi. So the whole workforce there is run by Ghanaians. So you see, if we've been able to do this, and let me say that it is Sam Jonah who laid the foundation. So we are basically replicating what he did in industry, also at the regulatory body. So this success story I'm telling, and it's all over the place. If we can do that in terms of ownership, then we are there now. Then we can now say that mining is beginning to really benefit us. Okay? Because many of the mines are around. I mean, I can mention them. You go to Anglo Gold Obuasi, that is the workforce. I mean, it's a Subonti, it's Ghanaian. Joshua Mototi, I mentioned Goldfields. Joanna Sana, Dr. Chasama, he runs Asanko. They are all over the place. These are Ghanaians, and they were all people who started at Obuasi. and then Sam Jonah. So they are also training people now by this their graduate training program and this national service. So when they also leave the scene, these people can fill the vacuum. So a lot is happening at the mining sector. And Randy, they pay them a lot of money.
Right.
Yes, the sector is the highest paid in Ghana. Okay, and dollars. So that is it. So if people are listening to me, I, for example, wish all my 4 children will pursue courses relating to mining and the geosciences because I know what is there.
I hope their relatives and friends are not watching.
Yes, so that is the first one. So that does. I mean, that's okay. We can complete the discussion now on the skill set. Okay. So people should be serious. And then I'm trying to reach out to ATTC and co to go and run some, programs for them and tell them that, look, those of you who are doing metal fabrication, welding, electrical, and then mechanical, there are jobs for you out there in the mine. There are a lot of them there in Cardinal because they are doing all kinds of fabrications. The machines, they just need to be, doing welding and all those things. That's what they are doing.
So I think...
and the interesting thing is that you have a lot of women going into engineering now. Right. A lot of them.
Right.
Okay, I showed you a video GTV went and did at the underground there.
Female engineers.
Yeah, the engineers, the electrical, the mechanical, and even the mine surveyor, they're all women. And they said they did internship there, they did service there, and they took them on. Yes. All
right. Okay, so whether you're a miner in the mining sector or any other sector, you need to enjoy the fruits of your labor as you work now. But of course, we're humans, so aging, physical infirmities and all that sometimes stands our way in enjoying all those mansions and high-rise buildings and stories that we build. But you need not worry when you can't use your stairways, the stairways to your house and all that. So, you see, I'm praying that you're able to use your stairways even at 100. But just in case you're unable to do that, there's the portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators. They're called PVEs. And it's a simple to use self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and services. And these are elevators that can be fixed even when they were not factored into the building of the property, although it is advisable to incorporate it. But when it's not incorporated, it still can be fixed. And the original comes in 3 custom-made models with a wheelchair accessibility to also choose from. So this is a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. So do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Just get one now for your easy vertical mobility at home or office. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days with modifications to your building. You just have to visit Elevators GH at Sakumono for your lift and elevator solutions and free consultation. So just call this number 0200 535 515 0200 535 515, or you can send an email to at elevatorsgh, that's one word, elevatorsgh at gmail.com, elevatorsgh, one word, at gmail.com. And you can get a portable American pneumatic vacuum elevator, popularly called PVEs, installed for you in your home. It will just take 3 days for the installation. And if you're building now, you can also contact them so you incorporate it into your building. Quite simple. One of these is, I'm sure I'm going to show the ad so you can see how it actually works. And there's a wheelchair option as well. So simply call 0200 535 515 or email at elevatorsgh@gmail.com.
Can I ask you a question?
Please
before
do.
we leave?
Please do.
A friend of mine asked me, if you have to start life all over again, will you marry your wife, the same wife, or will you marry your husband? Okay. Whatever. So let me ask you.
Okay.
Having heard me for close to about 6 months or more now,
yes.
If you have to start life all over again, is it a sector you consider entering?
I love what I do. I love what I do.
Yeah, so Executive Vice President, Corporate Affairs.
But it's not late.
It's not late?
It's not late. I could become a mine owner, you never know. So it's not late.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I asked you.
Yeah.
You could get into mining yourself.
Oh yes.
You could be in the support services.
Yes.
Or
I could be anywhere.
Or run their media for them.
I could be anywhere.
Yeah.
I could even be responsible for policy. Yes.
It is the heartbeat of the economy.
Right. I see that you love your work.
Oh, you see, just like they say you love your work too.
Yeah, I do.
You know something you've been doing about 20 years.
I do.
And you understand it. You know, it's lovely. Galamsey is stressful. It's really killing me. But we got to soldier on. We got to move. Yes. Right. Sometimes I sit back and say, oh, all the gains we are making is being wiped out by Galamsey. But we cannot.
Give up.
Oh, we can't give up. We can't give up. But let nobody think that he or she can ban mining, small scale mining. No.
All right. Okay. So we need to go now.